Critical details you're going to pay attention to. This is your roof to wall, a really common by others. Who is bringing those transitions together? Is it the roofer's responsibility? Is it the wall responsibility, contractor? This is where we're doing a lot of detailing where we decide, is the roofer coming down and then the wall guy going up over, or is the wall person going up and roofing's coming down over? And a lot of that's going to depend on the types of materials that are being used and a compatibility. Make sure there's a plan for it. Someone better know what it is that's specific to the materials on that job. Same thing for foundation to wall. Spell out how we want that to look. I've seen some really nasty things out there that end up happening. We want that air barrier to come all the way down before the rest of these components go on top, because it's like a present. So how are we managing that below foundation into that above grade wall assembly? How are we bringing those two together to meet? Who's responsible for that? Walls to windows. We're going to want to see that those openings are handled. And some of this gets tricky when you're looking at mass walls or using brick in front of block or brick in front of anything, is we talk about flashing that's through wall flashing, which is completely different than opening flashings for air barrier systems. And we see a lot of confusion and conflict there when we have those two systems that meet, where we're talking about transitioning into the windows that is part of an air barrier assembly, separate from if we're flashing for any of the claddings on the exterior of that. So all those things need to be coordinated. The rule of thumb, if it was 3 in, 3 out. So 3 inches around a penetration, 3 inches on either side of a control joint, 3 inches inside a window, 3 inches outside of a window. That tends to be like the industry standard norm of what you're going to want to see, so that we've got this whole thing wrapped as a present. Change of substrates are a big issue, where one trade stops, the next starts, and who's bringing them together. And oftentimes they incorporate multi-steps to get something detailed properly. And we want to know what those are before we start a project, because like an instance of this, where we're trying to fill the gap between the CMU and the structural steel, could include, and by the way, there's a lot of different ways this could be done. I would have your contractor tell you how they want to do it, and then you decide if that is appropriate or you agree with it or not. This contractor chose to slush it full of grout, wait for that to cure. Then we're going to come back and we're going to put transition membrane across that, and then they use some sealant to kind of make sure that transition material was appropriately fixed to it. But it's multi-steps, and you're the one that's going to decide, like have them tell you what they're going to do, and you decide if that is acceptable or not. But this type of thing can slow down something if in the middle of the project we're just now deciding it because we ran upon it, and now we've got to stop for a week because we got to let everything cure. We got to figure out what we're doing, and then we've got to let everything cure so that everything can be built out, and we've just lost time. We just don't have time now, right? More on penetrations. Some are square, some are round. Make sure they have a plan for how they're going to fill those in. Movement joints again. If we have movement joints for a reason, because we expect our buildings to move. So as such, you've got to detail your air barrier in a way that's going to allow that building to still be able to move without peeling things apart or causing problems where you would now have a crack or an opening in your air barrier because your building moved. We need to know how we're handling that.